On this episode of the John1911 Podcast, another gun channel gets the social media hammer, the Trump and Cher love affair. Bernie Sanders is the likely Democratic nominee, unless, and how in the hell did Notre Dame burn down? All right, good morning, everybody. This is Marky and Freeze, and this is episode 130 of the John1911 Podcast. How was your night, Freeze? You were working, right?
Yeah, I was working last night. It wasn't too bad.
I'm curious, when did you discover that Notre Dame had burned down?
Shoot, I don't know. Probably yesterday evening around maybe 6 or 7, maybe something like that, I guess.
Excuse me. Yeah, because you were sleeping, and I was like, I'm looking at this, and I'm just like, holy shit. Where the hell's the fire department? I mean, I guess they said it took a while for the fire department to get there, but I don't know what's true or what's not. You know what? Before we get deep into this, I have been making this point for, 18 years now, and this is a good opportunity to do it again. Okay? This is like 9/11. All right. So in the next day or two, the next couple of days, and next week, there's going to be a lot of answers. And what's going to happen is people are going to rewrite history, and they're going to act like they knew more than what they knew when this was happening, or that they understood what was going on when they didn't. And just like on 9/11, when everybody's sitting there going, what the fuck is going on? Then there's reports of 20 airplanes are hijacked or whatever. No, when this is happening, nobody knows what the hell's going on. Is it a fire? Is it arson? It's Holy Week. Where's the fire department? Did the thing burn down? Did it not burn down? And this will become apparent over time. But see, right now is how it really is. And this is how real crises work. You don't get the benefit of all the information later.
Yeah.
And a perfect example of this is on Twitter, and I guess now CNN's picked it up. At some point yesterday, Trump had tweeted, he goes, something horrible, maybe they could bring in tankers or something. And now I guess everybody's dunking on him on the left because, how dare you, you're an idiot. You can't do this. It's not exact science. You can't do that. All these reasons and all this stuff. And it's like, you motherfucking assholes sitting on your asses don't know anything about fucking air tankers or 1,000-year-old construction more than Donald Trump or me or anybody. And, the entire world was watching this fucker burn for hours, and everybody's going, what the fuck? People were like, well, bring in helicopters. Bring in ladder trucks. Bring in a fucking tanker. I mean, Donald Trump asked a question that the entire fucking planet was asking.
Yeah.
And it's just like, you needle dickheads. And you have to use this as some excuse now to dunk on Trump. And it's like, that's where your fucking mind is at today.
I mean, isn't that insane?
Notre Dame is burned to the fucking ground, and you want to talk about Trump. You're out of your fucking minds. I mean, it was just like, this is crazy. I was watching this yesterday, and I was blown the fuck away. I mean, yeah, I'm cursing. And you know what? I'm Catholic. I can curse when Notre Dame burns to the ground. I mean, I've been there multiple times. And it's just like, look, we don't know. Like, we heard reports that, the firefighters didn't get there for 2 hours. And now we're hearing reports that, they followed protocol, and when a fire starts, they evacuate all the art and all the valuable shit out of it. I mean, who knows? But
yeah, I mean, I have no clue.
But I'm looking at this, and it's like, let's say, if you've never been there, Notre Dame is like on this little island, kind of in the middle of the river, and so, and here's the thing too. Ever since like 9/11, because the first time I was there was before 9/11. They may have put up barriers and barricades to keep people in cars and vehicles, make it harder to get in there. But I can't help but think, for all the, police versus firefighter and all that jive ass bullshit that a lot of people do here in the States. Like, let's say Notre Dame was in New York City.
Okay.
And it's on fire. And it's like, there's, people in the way or barriers in the way or whatever in the way. The New York City Fire Department would have fucking been tearing shit apart to get to that fucking building.
Yeah, they would have.
I mean, do you think it would take New York City Fire Department as long as it would took, seemingly right now to respond to this or try to work on this? I mean, like in 9/11, the fire department was at the Twin Towers in minutes.
Yeah.
And it's just like, look, when there's at least the firemen that I know, look, if there's a fire and you're in their way, you're in danger, because they will pick you up and throw you against a wall. They will flip your cars over. They will knock through walls, knock through doors. They will tear your shit up to get through you. Mm-hmm. They won't. Oh, yeah. They won't ask you nicely. They won't plead. They won't take no. They're coming. And it's just like, look at this, and it's just like, what the fuck is going on in goddamn Paris? How in the hell?
I have no clue, and I haven't heard a lot of details. Like I said, I was working last night, and I didn't hear about it till late, so I haven't heard a whole lot of detail on it.
Yeah, and nobody has. That's the thing. Nobody has. But let me make a point here. Okay, in every major city in America, including Cincinnati, firefighters look at any building that's above probably 10 stories and they worry about it. They've got to have plans. They've got to have options. They've got to, because, like 9/11, they show up in New York and they look up those towers and it's like, oh, fuck, the fire's on the 100th floor or something, or like the 80th floor. And it's just like, oh, shit. Now, let me just bring this point back. I don't think Notre Dame is more than 10 stories tall. It's not a skyscraper.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know how tall it is. I've never been there.
Maybe 15. Like if you want to get to the top of the spire. I mean, it's not that tall. I mean, it's not a 50 floor office building.
Okay.
Here's Carew Tower in Cincinnati. You're familiar with Carew Tower. Obviously, you've seen it. That's 40 some floors. See how tall that is? Yeah. Notre Dame with its spires, I'm guessing. I mean, there's no way it's 20 stories tall. The roof of the tower and the two towers in the front, maybe the sharp point on the stick on the spire might be 20. I mean, I'm guessing, but I mean, it's not 40 stories. It's not 50. It's not 100.
Yeah. No, you're probably right. I mean, I don't think it's not like, I don't think it's not taller than the Eiffel Tower or anything.
Oh, it's not even in the same universe. I mean, saying it's not taller than the Eiffel Tower is like saying an ant isn't as tall as me. I mean, they're not even the same. I mean, it's a big ass church, but it ain't that big.
Yeah.
And this thing was on fire. Like the fire, reports of the fire came out. It's like, oh, we see smoke. And it's like hours later, and the entire thing is engulfed. Like there were photographs and videos of this thing burning, and I didn't see a single firefighter. I mean, this was on TV for like the afternoon.
I saw a short video of some firefighters shooting a garden hose onto the fire. I mean,
The reports right now, that's in 2 hours later, minimum.
Okay.
Remember we talked about a fire doubles in size about every 60 seconds?
Well, I mean, what's up with Paris's fire department? I mean, are they ill-equipped? I mean, what's is the Paris fire chief Muslim? I mean, I don't know.
I mean, it's just like,
which actually that's really not far-fetched.
And here's the thing too. Like see, again, this is day 2, and everybody now is kind of settled down. But somebody in the office made a point about this yesterday. So I just missed it. This thing's on fire. Somebody goes, it's Holy Week.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And I was like, and here's the thing. And I'm sitting here like, oh, fuck. I mean, it just, they're all saying now, it looks like it's construction. It looks like, but here's the thing. For hours yesterday, this thing was burning. And nobody's saying anything. It's like, we don't know what's going on.
Well,
and it's like, that apparently they've been burning churches in France. And it's like, oh, no. And I'm sitting here literally, I'm thinking, please, I'm actually saying a little prayer. Please, God, let this not be secular arson. Let this be, freaking linseed oil, or some bullshit from construction. Because if it turns out that this, oh, my God. Yeah. People in France will go crazy.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of reports. I mean, a lot of churches have been caught on fire in France, over the past year. And more of these reports will come out. I don't know with the extent of the damage if they'll ever really, truly be able to find out what started this fire.
I think they'll probably figure it out from video.
Oh yeah, actually, I never thought about that. That's.
I mean, the video will show probably the ignition point. Somebody has a video that will like where the smoke was originally coming from. The first, say, 15
video of someone walking into the cathedral with 2 big old jerry cans full of petrol.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's like, look, to be completely intellectually honest here, it's like the whole like fires in France, okay, the that stuff, it's like I haven't heard that. I mean, I can't follow everything. There's some asshole they just arrested for setting black churches on fire in Louisiana. And that was happening over a while, and everyone's like, oh, fuck, And it's like, again, it's one of those things where people will legitimately like, please be a black guy. Please be a black guy. And it turns out it was black churches, and turns out this time it actually was a white guy.
Well, yeah. I mean, the odds are eventually you're going to have a white guy burning down black churches. It can't always be black ministers burning down their own church.
Yeah.
Which happened several years ago?
Oh, dude, there's been so many. I don't even know is there some minister that was like his church was failing and he burned it up or something?
Yeah, blamed it on white supremacy and all that horse shit, but that was the flavor of the day. Probably to hide the books of all the money he was embezzling from his own church. I totally made by the way, but I would bet even money that I'm not far from the truth on that
one. We got to be careful here. Weren't we talking about somebody, a minister driving around in like in a supercar last year?
It was a Maybach. Yeah, driving around in a freaking Maybach.
Okay. Yeah. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, I've seen Cannonball Run. When Sammy Davis Jr. is driving around with Dean Martin in a Ferrari, and we're just doing the Lord's work faster. I mean,
If it's legitimate, yeah, that's cool. Whatever.
there was some pastor. It was last year. It was the hot story for a minute. So this guy, he's a minister and he's up and coming, I believe. It's the way they portrayed it. He's not like a Joel Osteen yet, but he's probably going to be. And for his wife's birthday, he bought her it's called if I mispronounce this, internet podcast world, don't slam me too hard. It was a Lamborghini, and my ears perked up, and I'm like, ooh, Lamborghini. I like Lamborghinis. And he goes, Lamborghini Urus or Urus. I'm like, what the hell is that? Turns out it's an SUV. And so hey, at least it was it's a daily driver. It's practical. But then his argument, and I guess a lot of people freaked out, and I guess his argument was, and he made a convincing argument. He goes, look, I've been saving my money for years and years and years. And you kind of get the impression that he's like, I'm lucky my wife. Hold on, let me finish. He goes, I'm lucky to have my wife. He probably married up. You kind of get that idea. And he's like, I always promised her I'd get her a nice car someday. And I've been saving for like 20 years, and I bought her a nice car for her birthday. And it's like,
man, come on now. I mean, there's nice cars, and there's freaking Lambo SUVs. Come on. I mean, you sure a couple Sunday love offerings didn't help pay for that Lambo?
Are you saying that there could be some W-2s and a few shekels involved in that transaction?
I'm just saying, there's a Cadillac SUV, then there's a freaking Lamborghini SUV. Come on.
Well, here's the thing: the Lamborghini SUV is
for 20 years. Bite me.
Hold on, that was the story. Hold on. The Lamborghini SUV is brand new. Like, I think he probably got one of the first ones in the country. And it's like, how in the hell did he? Because if you're in the exotic car circles, there's it's not really that different than really the gun community. If you're a high dollar gun buyer, you tend to get the calls from the high dollar dealers first. Because, hey, we got this, we have an allotment of, insert Africa safari gun or insert rare collectible, whatever bullshit gun. And you're a good customer and we can get one for you first. We have an allotment. Would you like it? And the allotment system works for Lamborghini, Ferrari, and all those cars as well. And, I saw this and I'm like, how the hell did he get an allotment for a car that nobody can get yet?
Yeah.
Is this his first exotic car?
I don't know. I mean, okay, but I looked up the MSRP on this car.
It's over 200, I think.
It's 200,000. Yeah. That's the MSRP. And I guess technically, I mean, if you saved for 20 years, that's only saving 10 grand a year, which, if he can stick aside 10 grand a year and live frugally, I mean, he's a minister. So, I don't know how much money they make. I guess it depends on how many love offerings you get on Sunday. But
is this an appropriate time to segue into Bernie Sanders has to admit that he's a millionaire?
I just heard he released like 10 years of his tax returns.
I didn't watch it because I don't care to watch Bernie.
No, I didn't watch it. I just saw a blurb on it, and I think they said in 2018 he made like 560 grand. Which,
yeah.
But he didn't. Well, it might not have been 2018. It could have been 16 or 17. Didn't the Democratic Party pay him off with a couple freaking homes for supporting Hillary?
They paid him off. They flew him around on a private jet to go around and campaign for Hillary. And there was a bunch of other stuff. But there's a couple things here. He he released 10 years of tax returns about 5 minutes before he goes on television for a town hall on Fox News last night. So they released the tax returns in a summary, and they had like a minute to read the summary before they could go live. And he's worth, I don't know, it's not like crazy money. He has a net worth, maybe 5 million, but it's probably less. But his argument is he goes, I'm not going to apologize for writing a best-selling book. And if you would like to become a millionaire, you too can go write a best-selling book. And like all these people that have written these books, it's like, did you get $1 million for your book? And everyone's like, nope. Did you get $1 million for your book? How about like a $500,000 advance? And nope. And it's just like, that may not be true. And so here's the thing: the Bernie tax thing. I saw it this morning. It's already backfired on him. Because here's the truth: he released his tax returns. He didn't release the joint tax returns he filed with his wife.
Oh. Well, that makes a big goddamn difference now, doesn't it?
Because it's amazing how in Washington, you know what? I'm not gonna name this. No, I better not. I'll take that one back. I'm not gonna edit it out, but I'm not gonna name it either. So look, there's a type of arrangement that you can have in your life. And it goes something like this. If you're a dude, you're married and you love your wife, which is how it should be. But, maybe you don't. But you're married and you are a moderately or interestingly successful person, or you have interesting opportunities. But for various reasons, you may not necessarily be able to take advantage of these opportunities, or you might even have like liabilities because you're a high profile person. So everything you own, everything you do, everything you have is in your wife's name. And there's grumblings. It's not unusual at all. And Bernie's wife. Then here's the thing: the people complaining about Bernie's taxes are not Republicans; it's Democrats, it's the liberals. Bernie's wife was the president of some college in Vermont, the Vermont state, in what, Burlington College, maybe, or is it Burlington, Vermont? Is that what it is? Burlington's but it's some little college, and she's the CEO, president, provost, chief poobah of this college. And if you listen to the moderate Democrats who want to run him out, they will say, it's not Republicans now, it's the Democrats that are saying this, that his wife ran that college into the ground because the college closed and she got, quote, a golden parachute. Yeah. So think about this. Bernie the communist, because his taxes are her taxes. Millionaires and billionaires got the phrase golden parachute. I don't know how many of our listeners have actually had the phrase golden parachute truly attributed to their real life, but it's damn few. Have you ever had a golden parachute phrase?
No. Had a few golden showers, but that's about as close.
You know what? If you do enough golden showers, maybe you can work your way up to parachute money. If you don't,
I hope.
So let me. There's going to be someone who's like, I don't get it, guys. What's a golden parachute? In short, this is the basic structure of a golden parachute, and this is vague. So if you look at a business or an institution or a group as hierarchy, as a hierarchy, lowest to highest, and the CEO they're high up in the ivory tower. They're at the top, like a high rise, and the money, you get more and more money the higher up you go. It's just, generally because, it's harder to get, less people can do that and actually have more of an effect day to day on the overall, functioning of the company. So there's a reason why, C-level people get paid more than people that flip burgers, because you can anybody can flip a burger, almost. Well, what happens is the C-level people and boards of directors, sometimes, generally it's the C-suite or executive vice presidents of companies. If the company is in trouble, there's issues, what they'll start doing is they will write into their contracts, we're going to extend your employment for 5 years. You get this much, whatever, and you get, you get stock options. If our stock hits a certain price, you get a kick, you get a bonus. If we get this, and then maybe they may even set forth some kickers, like if you get us to sell, because we want to sell the company, you get a big old whatever payout or whatever. So apparently in her structure, there was one of these kicks. And if she was able to achieve something, she was able to exit the institution with a large amount of money. The argument being, if it's going to fall apart or do whatever, she's at the top floor. She jumps off the roof and opens up her golden parachute and flies away to safety while the rest of it crumbles to the ground. Or, and apparently shortly after she left the school ran out of money, but she left with a big old payoff. And that's the scandal. In a nutshell, well, that's the scandal.
It's not really a scandal. I mean, you look at every CEO of every major corporation in this country, and they all have golden parachutes set up in their contract. I mean, it's commonplace, and it's been commonplace for decades.
Yeah, no. See, the thing is, no, because because you're just using phrases just in broad terms. So a board of a company is supposed to the C-level people have to report to a board, and the board, they have to be accountable to somebody. They just can't do whatever they want unless they're also the board. Like Facebook has a board, but he's the chairman of the board as well. But it's the fiduciary responsibility of a board is to make sure that the operators of an institution are engaging in best practices in the interest of the company or group that the board is overseeing. And so there is some accountability. Well, the argument is they saw this coming. Whatever decision she made, I think there was some real estate deal. Supposedly she had done something and bought something or sold something major. And you could have seen down the road, hey, this is pretty risky. But she got a big payoff and left, and somehow she was able to leave and took a bunch of money with her that would have come in really handy a little while later when that company ran out of money or that institution ran out of money. And that's where you really get in trouble. Like the Enron guys, Enron's a Ponzi scheme, basically. And, the money's not real. It's one thing to get paid, Steve Cook at Apple can exit with, bonuses and whatever and stock options and whatever, but Apple's not running out of money.
That's true. Apple is flush.
The golden parachute, when I hear golden parachute, my argument is it's like you're jumping off a crumbling building, not just exiting with, a big payday.
But yeah, most CEOs do exit with a big payday.
That's the goal. Yeah. Because a company is, if a CEO doesn't exit with a good payday, then the company's not doing well.
Yeah. Well, but I mean,
she exit. Well, that's the crux of the argument. She exited with a good payday, and then the company and the college collapsed. How the hell did that happen? That's there it is right there. It's like, what in the hell? And then when you factor into it, remember when Donald Trump was running for president and they're all making fun of Trump University and, college should be free and, everybody free college and free this and free that. And like, everyone's in the nonprofit business. It's like, oh, wait a minute. What is nonprofit and what is free and what's the goal of a college or a university? And how does she jack all this money out of this place? What the fuck's going on here? If she was a Republican, it would be number one story all day, every day.
Well, it may be a big story coming up because the Democrats do not want Bernie Sanders to get the nomination. So this may be a bigger story than you think down the road.
And do you know how we can prove the Democrats? We can prove it right here on this podcast that the Democrats do not want Bernie Sanders to get the nomination. We can prove it right here in about 15 seconds.
Okay.
How much money did Bernie Sanders raise compared to everybody else in 2019 for the campaign?
Oh God, I have no clue how much he raised.
I don't know the numbers. It's like 21 million, I think, or 22 million. And then Beto might have raised 4 or 5, and whatever raised over a 30-day period, and whatever Kamala and all these people. Here's the thing: Bernie Sanders raised like $250 million or $250 million in the 2016 race. He's raising more money now than any other Democrat. It's not even close. Like it's like 10 times more, or maybe 20 times more than other Democrats. Hold on, let me finish. This is important. He goes to rallies. He has his events, and thousands of people show up. When like Beto shows up somewhere, and he's lucky to draw in hundreds. Where in the media will you say that Bernie Sanders is the presumed front runner and right now is the leading candidate to get the nomination?
I don't know if anyone's saying that.
Because they don't want him to win. If it was Hillary Clinton, which it was, she's it, dude. The elections, she's it. Get over it. You know what? Don't even bother. Bernie Sanders, oh, well, they keep looking for people. Bernie Sanders, here's the truth, and nobody wants to admit this. Bernie Sanders in 2019 has a better chance of being the Democratic nominee for president than he did in 2016. Today, he has a better chance, and nobody's talking about it.
Well,
he's the front runner.
No one's talking about it because they don't want him in the limelight,
which is proof. Yeah. I mean, they're in trouble.
I mean, look, they cheated him out of the nomination last time around and gave it to Hillary. Everyone knows Bernie Sanders beat Hillary. I mean, there's no one out there that's not delusional that doesn't know Bernie Sanders kicked Hillary's ass. But they cheated to give it to Hillary.
Sure they did.
They paid off Bernie to just quietly, support Hillary.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So here's this is kind of related, but kind of not. Did you hear what Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, AOC, Ilhan Omar, and then there's a Tlaib girl, I think, woman, but Ilhan Omar is really bugging me. But the three amigos, the three musketeers. Mm-hmm. The three crazies, they're getting all the press. They're getting all the media. They're getting all the news coverage, all the headlines. Did you hear what Nancy Pelosi said about the districts where because AOC won in like what, Brooklyn? Is that where she won? Brooklyn's been Democrat for, I don't know, I mean probably 60 years.
Yeah, for
maybe
forever.
Longer. And so Nancy Pelosi came out and said a glass of water with a D after it could win those seats.
Wow.
They are getting – now, here's the thing. Nancy talks out of both sides.
But look, in all fairness, she's not wrong.
No, she's not wrong. But what's happening is Nancy is a huge problem. And Nancy has the Democratic Party has a huge problem. They have been, leaning into this like communists bullshit, kind of like we're going to take everybody's shit and pay for all your shit and nationalize all this shit and all this crap. for so long now. They got all these kids that think this is real and you can believe this. And now, because they just wanted their votes, we'll give you free shit and vote for me. And now these people are showing up. And Nancy, they can't control them.
Well, they created that monster.
They created that monster.
Yeah. So now that Bernie's officially part of the 1%, he can't pull the "I'm a common man."
The reports have come out. Reports have come out that Bernie, when he gives his millionaires and billionaires, apparently he now no longer says millionaires. He just says billionaires.
But you know what, though? All these stupid fucking millennials out there will buy that. They will drink the blood of Bernie Sanders at his altar. I'm serious. I mean,
well, let's take it to its loud.
I see so many millennials out there that are just, man, they're all freaking. They're 25-year-old, 12-year-old. They're 12-year-old mentally, but they're like physically 25 years old. And pay attention to this. Well, you don't get around the crowds I do anymore. Do you know how many people under the age of 30 don't have a driver's license and don't freaking drive? It's amazing. A lot of these millennials don't drive. They Uber.
Well, you know what? Look, I'm not going to say this in defense of them, but when you and I were kids, there was a definite line. You were 15 or whatever age, and you didn't drive, it didn't go anywhere. And then you were 15 and whatever age, and you got your permit, and you could go places. You'd go places to meet your friends or to meet girls or go to football games or go out or do whatever. If you and I were 15, we'd be Ubering that shit all over the place. Because Ubering is cheaper than owning a car too. That's hard to fathom.
No, actually, it's not. I was actually crunching the numbers with this guy. He's, I don't know, 28, 29 years old, and he Ubers back and forth to work a day. Now, the guy makes like, I don't know, 11, 12 bucks an hour. But he spends like, I don't know, it's like 20, 22 bucks a day to go and to and from work. And when you start looking at his paycheck and looking at how much he spends a week on Uber, I don't know, man. That it's cheaper to Uber is questionable.
Now, wait a minute. It's not, buying a car, registering a car, the sales tax on a car, gas for a car, maintenance on the car, insurance on the car, parking the car. Here's the thing. It's not cheaper. I mean, it depends on your situation. But here's the thing. He sounds like a guy that should be riding the bus. He's paying $22 a day or $22 a day to not walk 500 yards to a bus stop from whatever apartment he lives in. Think about that.
I mean, it depends on where you work is on a bus line. But then again, I also knew a guy. Well, I knew a guy who lived
he's wasting money.
I knew a guy who lived 3 miles from his house that didn't drive. Again, another, 25, 26-year-old. And he walked to and from work every day. Walked.
Sure.
And it was 3 miles one way, but he walked it.
3 miles isn't far. 3 miles isn't far at all, especially if you're in your 20s.
Yeah.
It's like, come on. But, to go back to the, I guess, I mean, I didn't know that there were that many that didn't even have driver's licenses or not drive, but I'm not surprised. But, all these kids, they've been miseducated, and a lot of them don't even have enough drive to have a job to make money. And so they don't have money. And that's why Bernie sounds interesting to them, because they're broke.
They're broke and shit's free with Bernie.
That's so they're told. Yeah. So it's what it is. They have a car. You make money, so girls like you, and then you can do shit. I mean, I hate this. That's true. You know what I mean? That's kind of like the young man's game. What do young girls do? Young girls, they buy little outfits and they work on their makeup and they can be, I mean, I'm just talking biology here. I'm just talking sociology here. Boys can get jobs and buy cars. Girls can't get jobs and buy cars, but how many girls want to date a boy that doesn't have a job and doesn't have a car? Now, maybe that's all jacked up today because now nobody has cars and they're all doing Uber. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I'm an old man now, but all these kids, I think they've been fucked up, and that's why I think Bernie appeals to them.
Oh, I don't disagree with that at all.
Somebody better do something about it. And you know what? This actually is a good point. There's a story that came out. I guarantee you did not hear this story because you totally don't give a shit. Kim Kardashian has come out and she went to the White House and met with Trump and got some woman out of jail for a low-level drug offense. And there were a couple other things I guess she's involved in. She's interested in prison reform. And so she has come out, if I understand it correctly, and she said she wants to go to law school. And then it didn't take too long, but a lot of people were dunking on her. That's my new word, by the way, dunking. And I'm going to use it. I'm going to wear it out. And, making fun of her and making, and all this other kind of stuff. And it's like, yeah, you know what? The Kardashians and Kim and all of them, they have there's a definite meme that, that's a known thing. But let's be objective here, okay? Kim Kardashian is, I don't know how old she is. She's under 40. So she's an adult.
I don't know how old she is.
She's probably not even 40. She's probably still in her 30s. She's pretty young still, relative to me. But she's relatively young. She's worth a boatload of money. She's legit has the means. She has the motivation. She has the economic means to not only go to law school. She doesn't, she doesn't have to flip a burger to try to pay the rent and also pay for law school. She has a motivation. She has the means and, possibly even has enough means to, hire tutors or special, whatever stuff, and everyone's like, yeah, Kim Kardashian, she can't go to law school. And it's like, you know what? I think she probably can. And I say there's at least a 50-50 chance she could end up. Look, Kim Kardashian could pass. She could graduate law school. She absolutely could. Now, whether she'll pass the the California bar, that's a whole separate argument. That's one of the hardest bars in the country. But it's like, people, they grow up, what you think your life is when you're 15, 16, 18, your life could be totally different when you're 35 and 40.
Mm-hmm.
And what you want to do and what you think is important, you could change your mind.
So why does she want to get a law degree?
I think it's related to the whole, instead of her having to get a lawyer to look at somebody's case to try to, this person is spending the rest of their life for jaywalking because of 3 strikes, you're out. She feels that she's like, it would be just so much more convenient for me and everybody involved if I could just go ahead and be an officer of the court and get involved in this directly when I see stuff. And it's a true motivation, and it's like, forget Kim Kardashian, just say there's a woman. She's worth hundreds of millions of dollars. She's 30 some years old. She's married. She has multiple kids. Her husband is a very successful man. She has the means, support structure, and the opportunity to go to law school if she wants to engage in this activity that she wants to do. And everyone's like, yeah, you can't do that. The only reason they're saying she can't do it is because she's Kim Kardashian. And a part of me is like, oh, actually, she probably could.
Well, she doesn't have to actually do anything. I mean, she doesn't have to work. She's got more money. I mean, shit. I mean, is she a billionaire yet, or is she just in the hundreds of millions?
Her sister is a billionaire, but you know what? Look, let's be real here. These people work. I mean, It's like that.
I'm saying she doesn't have to work. She can dedicate all the time in the world she needs to get a law degree because she doesn't have to work. She's got millions of dollars.
Oh yeah, I think she's probably worth hundreds of millions of dollars.
So
and then Kanye, her husband Kanye's worth. I mean, I don't know what Kanye's worth, but I mean, he's got to be worth at least in the high $70 million. I mean, maybe he could be in the hundreds. Well, he's had some big records.
I mean, okay, I have no clue what old Kanye's worth. I mean, but I'm sure he's not a billionaire. I mean, I have no clue what he's worth, but I'd figure he's worth, $100 million or something.
I bet he bounces on either side of 100 million. Because he's been, that's my point. And here's the thing. Like a lot of these kids, like these Uber kids or these Bernie Sanders kids, this is where they just have no concept of how the world really works. They buy into this argument, this class warfare argument, that Kim Kardashian can't be the reason they think Kim Kardashian can't be a lawyer is because she's Kim Kardashian. That's who you are. That's who you're supposed to be. And most of the reason why they think that is because that's who they know her as. They have no concept of the idea that people grow and change.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, honestly, if you have 100 million, not just sticking with the 100 million, she probably has more than that. But if you have $100 million, you can literally do anything you want.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
but it's interesting. Sure. If you want to save the world, unless you join the church, if you want to save the world, it helps to have money to do it.
Oh yeah. It sure as hell does. You can run around talking about saving the world like Bono from U2 and pay a lot of lip service to it, where you can actually get out there and plant a fucking tree. You can get out there and help build some houses. I'm not a big fan of Jimmy Carter as a president, but I'll tell you what, the shit he did for Habitat for Humanity when he was younger, he did a lot of good.
That motherfucker went out and actually swung a hammer, didn't he?
Yes, he did. And that's what I'm saying. You can run around with the cameras on you, and the flash bulbs going off, and you can talk about how we need to save the world, which is all Bono ever fucking does. But you know what? You can get out there like Jimmy Carter and swing a fucking hammer. And you know what? He built hope. Well, but the point is, he actually got his hands dirty doing it,
Yeah, Bono's activity to save the world, if you legitimately think about it, what did he have to do? He had to take meetings with George Bush. I'm saving the world today. Policy over politics. I'm in the White House meeting with George Bush. I'm going to work with anybody that can help the whatever. I'm not going to judge it. Yeah, I'm saving the world. Looks like a really hard day in the salt mines there, Bono, in the Oval Office talking to George Bush.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. I'm sure he got served a 5-star lunch too.
Hey, speaking of changing the world and making America great again, while you were sleeping yesterday, was it yesterday or the day before? Tiger Woods won the Masters.
Did you see the meme I sent you?
I did. Was it Make America like?
Trump made Tiger good again.
Yeah, there's a meme of there's a photograph of Tiger Woods when he's getting his DUI arrest, I think, or whatever it is. And then there's a photograph of him.
That's the Obama Tiger.
This is vicious.
The Trump Tiger has him wearing his green jacket.
Yeah.
Dude, that was a vicious meme. I loved it. I laughed.
When somebody told me that Tiger Woods won the Masters, I'm sorry, golf people. I had to ask this question. I was like, so is the Masters like the Super Bowl? Is that what that means? Is it like the big one? They're like, yes. And I'm like, okay, all right, I get it now. Because I didn't know, is Masters for the old guys or for only people that won or champions, or how does this? I don't know what Masters actually means. So the only thing I know about Augusta is I know that Condi Rice is a member of Augusta, and I love her and love them for it. Whenever I see anything with Augusta, and I go, where's Condi at? Where's Dr. Rice at? The Dr. Rice I like, not the Dr. Rice I don't like. She's a big golfer, and she's a member at Augusta. I like her so much.
Okay.
So I just want to get that out there. So yeah.
Stalker. You like her so much, you know what golf club she's belongs to.
Hold on, let me get my binoculars and take a look. Hold on, she's swinging a 3-iron.
In my circle, that's called stalking.
Yeah, it's just a SWAT call waiting to happen.
It happens.
Hey, speaking about Donald Trump, dude. So Trump came out and he's like, hey, we're going to take all these illegal immigrants that are flooding the border and we're full anyway, and I'm going to dump them in sanctuary cities. Did you see the
that's a brilliant strategy. It is. Because look, okay, the thing is, the Democrats had been blocking him, so I'm going to secure the border. It was a campaign promise. I'm going to secure the border. And again, I'm working, so I'm catching snippets, and I haven't heard all the fucking details behind it. But honestly, by turning the tables on them and saying, hey, okay, you know what? We're going to let them all in, and we're going to put them in sanctuary cities. And everyone, like I heard Cher's like, oh, no, we can't do that, And it's like, okay, so now that you're refusing to let these people come into your sanctuary cities, it's going to be a little hard to hammer him on not keeping his campaign promise.
Well, it was funny because the first thing, like the Jonah Goldbergs and the Republicans that don't like Trump, say like Bill Kristol. Bill Kristol's really the one. They're making the argument that, okay, so Trump is going to own the libs on immigration by flooding the country with illegal immigrants. And it's like, no, that's actually not what's happening. They're apprehending these people at the border. They're overflowing. They have to release a lot of them with summonses to come back to court. And it's like, instead of releasing them into Texas and Arizona, we'll just fly them to California and Chicago and New York. And and they can stay there, and when they and deal with it. So he's not opening the border. And then Cher, they went back and they found a tweet of Cher's talking about all sappy in favor of immigration, and people aren't illegal, or I don't remember exactly what she said, but she's making all this argument like, we can take care of everybody and we can do this and you're whatever. And then she's got this tweet, California, we can't even take care of the homeless that we have or the illegals that we have, and many of them are vets, and we can't do this. And it's like, oh, wait a minute, so you're okay with these assholes flying across the border and squatting in somebody else's town, but you don't want them in your town.
Exactly.
Well, apparently, when she went out to get her $5 latte, they read her the riot act, because she got back on Twitter and rolled that shit back. She was, basically she was like, Donald Trump is evil and his heart is evil and he's a terrible man and whatever. And then my favorite were the talking heads that went around on all the TV shows after Trump announced this, and they all said this. They said, how dare Donald Trump use undocumented immigrants as pawns? Are you okay? You take a drink?
Yeah, I'm taking a drink of water. I've got a tickle in my throat. Really? They're saying, how dare him use them as pawns?
It was like that is peak 2019 election season right there.
Oh my God!
The Republicans are using undocumented immigrants, illegals, as quote pawns.
Wow.
Yeah.
That really, I mean, how did you not burst into fucking flames when you said that out loud?
The best part of it is a lot of these people, when they use these phrases, they obviously don't know what that means. It's like a pawn on a chessboard is the lowest ranking piece, and you have lots of them. And what you do is you throw them at your enemy. You sacrifice them so your higher ranked pieces can move in and get the queen. And it's like, that's exactly what the Democrats are doing.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I just thought that was like, that is so. I about choked. I was like, what? Really? It's like, look. So here's a question. So with all this going on, I'm curious what you think. If Bernie Sanders gets a nomination,
yeah,
do you think Trump can beat Bernie Sanders?
I do. Because here's why. It's going to be the last election all over again. Because all the Bernie fans, when the Democrats fucked Bernie over, they didn't vote, or they voted for Trump, or they voted for, some bullshit write-in, but they didn't vote for Hillary because they were pissed off that they screwed Hillary over. Well, here's the thing. Your hardline Democrats, are they going to vote for Bernie Sanders? I don't think they will. So I truly think that, I think Trump can beat Bernie. Because Bernie's a crackpot. He's insane. He's a communist.
Yeah, see, they're trying to make Bernie out that he's kind of this moderate. He's really not.
Well, he's not a socialist or a communist. He's a democratic socialist. What?
The Union of Soviet Socialist Republic.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, so here's the question. I think on any given day, if you were to play the odds, Trump should be able to beat Bernie. And also, there's a part of me intellectually that says, you know what? Let's have a real election here, okay? A fucking socialist versus a fucking capitalist. And here's the thing. Donald Trump is how Bernie represents socialism, probably not the smartest way to do it. Trump represents capitalism. Probably not the smartest way to do it. But, the thing is, do you remember in 2012, you and I sat around and we were like, there is no way Barack Obama gets reelected. Now he has a record. Now everybody knows who he is. Now everybody knows there's no way he gets reelected. It's a fluke.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What happens if Bernie wins? What if it's a bad day? Well, the argument can be made that the reason Obama won against who's the senator from Utah now? Mitt Romney was like, well, did they say it was the financial crisis and then like it hurt there's the argument like it hurt the idea of the big businessman. Like if the financial crisis hadn't hit at the end, Romney might have actually been able to pull that one off. Have you ever heard that argument?
Yeah, but I disagree. Romney lost to Obama because Romney didn't want to be president back. He pull out the gloves, we really can't talk about Barack Obama because it's not politically correct, blah, blah. Man, first thing I would have done is I would have talked about his communist mother, well, Barack Obama was raised in Indochina. Yeah, because his mother was over there helping the fucking communists. I mean, no one said that during the election.
Well, that was an example. That was the beginning of the alternative media really picking up steam, all the shit they didn't say. But you know what? Where I think Romney lost the election, and I think history has proved Romney wrong, is Romney gave that speech. Again, the election was really pretty much over, but they really hammered him with this one because they had secret recording of it. He was at a Republican donor thing, and it's like no cameras, no press, no media, and he was supposedly just talking to Republicans, and he said like, was it like 47%? He's like 47% of the people out there, we're never going to get their vote. Remember that? And that was a huge, and it was a huge scandal. And what he was doing is he was talking about what the poll numbers showed. And he found his lane of victory was to, Ohio, Florida, and the states they had to hold, and that's how they were going to win. It was just a single lane. Historically, that was proven to be wrong because Donald Trump won 2016, not by ignoring the 47%. Donald Trump went in to Pennsylvania, and he went into Michigan, and he went into Wisconsin, and took the working class, union vote away from the Democrats. When they say that Donald Trump won the election with like 88,000 people in like, I don't know, like 5 or 6 counties, literally he took it's the labor vote, in my opinion. That's who he took. Big union, big labor vote. And, Romney was never going to win. He's like, he wasn't going to go for that one. Yeah, Romney's like, I'm not going to try to win in Michigan. Romney's entire argument for trying to win Michigan was, my daddy's from Michigan. My daddy was the governor of Michigan. You should just give it to me. It's like, whatever, dude. Fucking Romney. The man, he's a nice man. I think Romney should go to France and take over the program to rebuild Notre Dame. I think he would be good at that. But I think he's a terrible politician.
Look, I don't dislike Mitt Romney as a role. I mean, I don't.
He's a very likable guy.
And I personally, I think he would have made a pretty decent president.
Oh my God, he would have made a fantastic president. I mean, he's literally the joke. The joke about Mitt Romney was he's like under glass, and like there was a hammer next to the glass, and it said break glass in the event of a president, because he's like molded to be president.
I mean, look, he was a governor of he knows how to work with liberals. I mean, look, I think he would have been a very good president, and I think he would have been able to get a lot of stuff done because he could work with both sides of the aisle very effectively. But you know what? It didn't work out that way, so we'll never know.
Would a President Romney have allowed the assault weapons ban to lapse, like George W. Bush did? I think no.
I think no as well.
That's my problem with Romney. I mean, not to be a one-issue voter, but Romney, the whole argument with Romney was not only did he not fight to win the election, he didn't fight. Voting for Romney was voting for only losing a little bit more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, I don't think he would have let it lapse. No.
Yeah.
But
like if Romney was president, it'd be like if Romney was president when like one of these massive shooting happens, oh my God.
Well, that's something that no one really talks about is when Barack Obama was president, you had all these massive shootings, and he didn't really do a whole lot about it.
There's one reason for that. 2 reasons.
Okay, I'm listening.
Cocaine Mitch and crying John Boehner.
Yeah.
Cocaine Mitch.
Mitch, really?
You never heard that?
No,
Okay,
I've never heard of it.
There was a guy, he was running for Senate in West Virginia, and he's kind of a carpetbagger. He owned a coal company, but I think he really lived in Vegas, and he was born in West Virginia, so he's like, it's my home state, but it's like whatever. Like Sebelius trying to claim Ohio. She's really from Kansas. And he was trying to win, and he called because he's running against the establishment, and he was calling Mitch McConnell. He was Mitch McConnell, I guess, his wife. What's her Chow? What's Elaine Chow? She's the Secretary of like Transportation and all that. She's a total like Republican, like plug her in every time in the Department of Transportation or Commerce or something. And that's his wife, and she's of Chinese descent, and I guess her family apparently owns a shipping import-export company that brings goods into Canada and the U.S. And so this guy had zeroed in on that because he's a businessman, and I guess there was some ship that was stopped by the Coast Guard or somebody flying under contract for this company, and it had a bunch of cocaine on it. So he used to call him Cocaine Mitch. And then he moved off of that, and he started talking about Cocaine Mitch's wife and the Chinese. The Chinese were getting favorable trade relations under Elaine Chow's watch, or whatever Chow's watch was, Secretary Chow's watch. And it turns out her family may be benefiting from it, and that had never come out. I had never heard that before. And so he would always, instead of saying like Chinese people or China, he called them China people.
China people.
Let me give you two reasons why you need to vote for me: Cocaine Mitch and China people. And you're just like, fucking Christ, this guy's on fucking national television. It was hilarious. China people. Okay. Yeah, it was pretty bad. So, hey, we've been going for a while, so let's go ahead and hit some of the news real quick. Is the Firearms Blog Instagram account still down?
As far as I know, it is.
Let me see. Let me go to. As I'm actually in a. If anyone's hearing an echo, it's because I'm in the conference room. Firearms. Somebody ripped them off. Somebody opened up I'm not going to say who it is, but somebody opened up an Instagram account that's it looks like it is. So the Firearms Blog has had an Instagram account. I don't know how many people they had on it, but for some reason Instagram deleted it. They didn't just suspend it. They deleted it, so you can't get it back according to them and their policies. And I don't know all of it, but it's kind of the argument that you and I were making. It's like YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. If you're building a gun-related business or social media property, and your home base is on one of these platforms, you're on rented ground. You don't own that. They can take it away from you. Yep. And the Firearms Blog, they're in good shape. But like, what happens to Nut and Fancy when they shut down his YouTube channel? He's done.
Nut and Fancy's toast. If they shut down his YouTube channel, the Firearms Blog, frankly, I mean, losing an Instagram account or a YouTube account is like whatever.
Mm-hmm. They just fire another one up and send their people to it and repopulate it, because the Firearms Blog, their business model is their website, and most of their traffic comes in off their website. I think they have the best business model of anybody out there. I mean, structurally, I think
structurally, yes, I agree with you.
I think their comment section is a flaming shit show, and it's awful. It's fucking horrible. You know, I mean, there's very few places worse than their comment section. And there's no reason it has to be like that. They just choose because they'd rather have the traffic than, I mean, like it's probably the same 15, 20, 30 people. Let's say it's 100 people. They'd rather have the traffic of those 100 people shit posting than deleting those 100 people and cleaning up that entire comment section. So it's actually, useful or enjoyable for people. So
yeah,
that's the downside to their business model, but that's fine. Well, then you told me the Blaze was the same way. The Blaze, you could go to their website.
Jesus, the Blaze was horrid. I mean, they would post something, and you go in there, and they'd be, like I think the example I said, you'd have 894 comments. And I mean, that's not an exaggeration. I mean, there would be, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of comments on a post. And as I told you, out of 894 comments, I'd have deleted 800 of them. I mean, it was horrible. I mean, it was a crap show. It was just bad. But you know what? No one moderated it, and they didn't care because they just wanted the traffic,
and we haven't talked about this in a while. And, the people that listen, I don't think we have a lot of crossover of the people that listen to the podcast to the people that comment on the website. But for those that are on the podcast, that they're probably not aware of it, but I personally like our website, John1911.com. I'm really fond of it. That's kind of our home base. If you want to ask me questions or ask Freeze questions, or I don't care how dumb it is, or if you have a suggestion, we will see it. We will talk to you. We will interface with you personally. That's home base for us. With that being said, if you roll in there, look, you can be wrong and you can make mistakes, but if you roll in there trying to attack us or attack other people, we will just ban your shit off that page, off that website, because we don't need the traffic. And so we'd like to keep it clean and, and informative and, and upbeat and positive. Just positive, I think, is the best way to put it. Shooting guns and having fun and having a bunch of people come in and shit posting isn't fun. I don't need to read, even if it's not negative, I don't need to read 100 pages of knock-knock jokes. It's like, come on. And
I don't have time. I don't have time for that crap. Neither do you.
Yeah. So anyway, if my point is, if you're listening to this and like most people go to the Farms blog, we all go to the Farms blog. And the reason I go, it's like I can go to the Farms blog and I spend about 15 seconds there, on average. Because what I do is I look at, okay, what are the headlines for whatever it is? And it's like, am I interested in that? I'm interested in that. I'm interested in that. Interested in that? No. But if I see something that's like, oh, I'm interested in that, I may open it and real quick be like, okay, that's what this is, and I'm out. Because it's really more, the Farms blog is really more of a giant press release website. It's really not like our business model. And so it's not really for people that are doing things and trying to grow and learn. The Farms blog business model is they take press releases from people to get the traffic. And then they take money from people to do reviews and sponsorship and advertising to support that traffic.
Yeah.
They're not, and that's fine. But the thing is, their comment section, they just I'm sure they do light moderation, but their comment section, they will just let shit go off into the fucking ether. Like if, you go like, I don't know, this is an article about a widget, comment about a widget. And here's how, if it took Glock mags, then the next comment will be, you had me until you said the price. And then the next comment will be something pseudo, like technical. And then somebody will come in on one of those and basically say you're wrong on the technical. And then those two people will argue amongst themselves, attacking each other. You're from Poland. What do you know? Oh, you're a Glock owner. What do you know? And that'll go on for like 40 comments. And you're just like, I am fucking out of here.
Yeah.
It's terrible. It's terrible.
Oh, God, it's
their
boring.
comment section is terrible. And the reason I make that point, the Blaze collapsed out of hubris and lack of moderation. Glenn Beck's hubris and a lack of moderation, because they didn't have a community, and so the community couldn't carry them across the finish line when Glenn Beck went nuts. But then if you look across the social media spectrum, look what's going on Twitter, look what's going on Facebook, look what's going on YouTube. And the issues that are causing the problems now are the comment sections.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely 100% correct.
And here's the thing, in the Firearms blog in particular, their business model is it's a great business model. They're bigger than we are. They're more successful than we are. Most of those people aren't getting paid, but the structure of it's more successful than we are. But the thing is, when the gotcha game and the whataboutism and the boycotts on the bullshit comments in their section start to bleed over to their advertisers, and they start going, wait a minute, why the fuck should I advertise here if you're going to allow this shit to go on? Or all this. I mean, there's going to come a point when it's going to be like, whoa, it's coming, because it's already hitting all the majors. It will trickle down. People don't want to read, go to a gun forum and, and have 18 pages of nonsense.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
no.
And I'm not going to mention the name, but you and I had talked about this yesterday, and I'm not going to say the guy's name, but early on we had a guy, he came in to the website. I can't remember the article. I don't know if you wrote it or I wrote it, or even maybe Scott wrote it. I don't even know. Guy comes in, very well respected guy in the community, I guess, in the firearms online research and whatever type of people. And he comes in and he makes a statement about something in the article or whatever that he didn't agree with. And then I think you came in and you said, well, this is why this, and this is why this is this. And you gave the reasons. And it basically, and this is the summation, and this is the justification for what you're trying to do. But, this is the reasons, and this is why we are where we are at. And then what he does, he changes the argument, moves the goalpost to change the entire situation, then basically go, well, I'm still right. And I banned him. I banned his shit. It's like, no, you're not. No, this is not a gun forum. 10,000 posts, and you think you're the big guy on this forum, and you get to dunk on everybody because you want to be the smartest guy in the room. Because look, you and I can handle this. Wasn't hurting me. He wasn't hurting you. He wasn't. If it was Scott, he's not going to hurt us. But what's going to happen is we have guys that come in and they read these comments or they read these posts and they have questions, or they will, what about this? Or I can't get this to work. And they see this kind of activity and they are scared shitless to contribute or even ask a basic question, because they don't want to be stupid and, by air quotes, and be dunked on by guys like this.
Well, and I mean, okay, one of the things that I hate seeing in forums, and, I mean, I'm no fan of gun forums, neither are you. I mean, we go there, we've been there. I mean, I've been very prominent on several forums in the past, as well as you have. But one of the things I hate is when a noob comes in and asks a question, and instead of just answering them or say, okay, here's a link to this thread, go read this thread, it'll answer your question, and just treating them decently. They just go in there and it's like, this question's already been addressed 100 times in here, blah, blah. And it's like, okay, but this guy doesn't know it because he's new. You know, it's, man, it's just, and another thing. Okay, so I go into a forum and say, Glocks come from the factory black, and I've got 10 posts. And you roll in with your 10,000 posts and go, oh, no, they don't come from the factory black. They come from the factory gray, and the distributors paint them black. And I come in and go, I don't think that's true. Bam, I immediately have 100 guys defending you going, oh, no, Marky's right, because they don't know. The only reason you're right is because you have 10,000 posts, so you're the quote-unquote expert.
Yeah.
You know, it's exhausting, and I've been there, you've been there, and anyone who frequents forums knows exactly what I'm talking about. And I used a ridiculous example, but still, that's what happens.
It becomes tribal and clannish and not based on facts. And it just, you know, I find it distasteful.
So do I.
You want to end on something fun?
Sure.
I got a Walmart story.
Those are always fun.
I'm surprised. If you haven't heard this one. Here's the headline. This is out of Wisconsin. Chaos at Walmart as woman performs karate. Son exposes himself. Dog steals food.
Dude, I saw that.
Okay, let me read it. Here we go. Eau Claire Police Department. Chaos descended on a Wisconsin Walmart store Wednesday night after a karate-performing mother, her naked son, and their belligerent dog shoplifted and ran amok in the store. The Eau Claire Police Department said on social media that the officers responded to a call that a woman, Lisa Smith, 46, her dog Bo, shoplifted items from the store. The woman's son, 26-year-old Benny Vaughn, was causing chaos in the store as well. Police learned that Smith came to the shop with Bo unleashed, which the dog immediately running off towards customers while the woman was pulling apart displays in the store and placing them in her cart. Displays. After being told to leave the store, the woman began showing off her karate moves in the parking lot to fend off police officers. And here's the thing. We're not even to the good part yet. The dog tries to flee the crime scene, I'll bet unsuccessfully, with a box of Jiffy cornbread muffin mix in its mouth. It gets better. After a brief fight with the officers, Smith was arrested. As a last-ditch attempt, she tried to kick a window out of a patrol car. Her raucous son, meanwhile, was getting fully naked and began exposing himself to other customers. He then tried to cover himself up with new clothes from the store without intending to pay for them. Officers confronted Vaughn. He threatened to run them over with his scooter, prompting the police to use physical force to stop the scooter and the rest of the man. Translation, that was a pig pile. They tackled that motherfucker. The mother was charged with disorderly conduct, resisting arrest, and misdemeanor bail jumping. The son is facing charges of lewd and lascivious behavior, disorderly conduct, and retail theft. The only character to get off scot-free is Bo the dog, and I quote, Bo was caught by officers in the store and brought to the Humane Association. The dog was not charged. We issued him a warning for the theft, police said in a statement. And that wraps up episode 130 of the John1911 Podcast. If you want to see any stories or links or photographs of the things we discussed, go to our website, John1911.com. That's JOHN1911.com. Remember, it's all about shooting guns and having fun, not in Walmart. Everybody, have a good day.
See you later.